There comes a point when the clutter in your home isn't just about too many things. It's about how heavy everything feels. Not just in your hands, but in your body, in your chest, in your mind. Maybe you've looked at the same piles for weeks, maybe months, and thought to yourself, I just don't have it in me today. You want it gone. You wish it were easier. But the truth is, your back hurts. Your legs don't move the way they used to. And sometimes, just getting out of the chair is a task all on its own. You're not being dramatic. You're not making excuses. You are living in a body that's been through a lot, and it's asking you to slow down. And while the world keeps shouting messages about just get it done or no excuses, I want to say something very different to you right now. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You're tired. And your tiredness is valid. This video isn't for the people who can still run up and down stairs or move furniture without blinking. This is for those of us who move slowly now, who need to catch our breath between rooms, who still want peace in our space, but need help that actually makes sense for where we are in life today. If that sounds like you, if even a little part of you felt seen just now, go ahead and tap the like button. Not because I said something fancy or clever, but because you felt understood. That tells me this message is reaching the right hearts. And if you're comfortable, I'd love for you to share in the comments. What's one area in your home that's been weighing on you the most? Maybe it's a closet you've been avoiding, a drawer that's overflowing, or even just the kitchen counter that never seems to stay clear. Whatever it is, you're not alone in it. We talk a lot about decluttering things, but sometimes just saying it out loud is the first real step forward. And in this community, no one's here to judge. We're just here to understand and to help however we can. Tip 1. Use a decluttering tray. When your body isn't what it used to be, when every movement feels like a decision and every task feels like a stretch, it's easy for clutter to pile up. Not because you don't care, but because the energy it takes to even begin feels completely out of reach. Just walking across the room, bending to reach into a cabinet, or sorting through a drawer can feel like too much. And for many of us, especially if you live alone or deal with chronic pain or limited mobility, that small mountain of stuff starts to look a lot bigger than it is. That's where something as simple as a decluttering tray can change everything. A decluttering tray isn't magic, but it makes your space work for you, not the other way around. It's just a basket, box, or tray. Anything light and easy to carry, with low sides so you can reach in comfortably. Keep it near your favorite chair, by your bedside, or wherever you spend most of your time. The goal is to create a way for clutter to come to you, so you don't have to chase it. If you have a family member, caregiver, or kind neighbor who visits or checks in, ask them to bring you just a few items each time they come. Maybe 10 items from a kitchen drawer, a handful of things from a cluttered shelf, or even some old mail that's been sitting in a pile. Have them place it in your tray and leave it with you. From there, you can do the rest slowly, gently, and from a place of comfort. You don't have to get up, you don't have to strain, you just sit and decide. One by one, what to keep, what to toss, what to donate. There's no pressure to finish it all in one sitting. There's no scoreboard. One decision at a time is enough. And if you live alone, this tip is still for you. The key is to think small and steady. Bring the tray with you on your way to the kitchen, or when you're headed to the bathroom or answering the door. On the way back, drop just a few items into the tray. Something you walked past and no longer need. A dusty ornament, a piece of junk mail, a broken charger. Let it sit in the tray until you're ready to sort it. Some people make it a habit. One item in the morning, one at night. That's all it takes to keep moving forward without burning yourself out. The tray becomes your quiet partner. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't judge you. It simply waits until you're ready. And over time, those tiny moments add up. That tray, filled and emptied little by little, becomes a symbol of your progress. Not the kind measured in bags or bins, but the kind measured in peace. You're clearing not just your space, but your mind. You're proving to yourself that even with a tired body or aching joints or no one else around to help, you're still capable of creating change. You don't need to push harder. You don't need to prove anything. You're doing what matters, in a way that works for you. And that, in this season of life, is exactly the kind of strength that lasts. Tip 2. Declutter by category, not by room. One of the reasons clutter feels so overwhelming, especially when your body is tired or hurting, is because we've been taught to think in terms of whole rooms. I need to clean the kitchen. I have to tackle the garage. I should do something about that closet. And just like that, we've already lost the energy before we've even begun. The task is too big. The room is too much. And your body, quite understandably, says, not today. So here's something I want you to try instead. Don't declutter the room. Declutter the category. Let me explain. You don't need to be in the kitchen to sort utensils. You don't need to stand in the closet to deal with scarves. You don't even need to leave your chair or your bed. All you need is one category at a time, and the rest can wait. Start small. Ask yourself, what's one type of item I see too much of in my home? Maybe it's paper. Maybe it's old socks. Maybe it's pens, or Tupperware lids, or cards from years ago that you've held onto but no longer want to display. That's your category. Once you've picked your category, gather just a few of those items, or if you have a helper, ask them to bring you a handful. Not everything, just enough to sort from where you are. The key is, you stay seated. You stay grounded. The decision-making happens from your place of comfort. Even if you live alone, this still works. You don't need to tackle a whole drawer. Just bring a few of the same kind of item to your lap or side table while you're watching TV or sipping tea. Sort them slowly. Which ones do you love? Which ones do you use? Which ones are just taking up space and reminding you of old stress? You might be surprised how much easier it feels to look at 5 old receipts rather than the whole desk. Or 3 pairs of shoes rather than the whole closet floor. Categories shrink the task into something your body and your mind can handle. And here's the beautiful part. When you start decluttering by category, you stop measuring progress by square footage. You start measuring it by clarity. You no longer need a before and after photo of a room. You just need the calm that comes from knowing one corner of your life is lighter than it was yesterday. You can even make it part of your weekly rhythm. Maybe Mondays are for sorting through extra mugs. Tuesdays, a few items of jewelry. Sundays, the kitchen towels. There's no rush. The categories will wait for you. What matters is that you're choosing the pace and you're choosing what matters most. Remember this. The room may look the same for now, but if you've cleared 10 pens that don't work anymore, that's progress. If you've let go of a stack of paper you don't need, that's relief. You don't have to move from where you are to move forward. You're not cleaning the house, you're clearing your space, one category at a time. And in this season of life, that's not only enough, it's wise. Tip 3. Use a 5-minute timer. Let's be honest, sometimes the hardest part of decluttering isn't the stuff itself, it's the way it makes you feel. You sit in your chair, look at that pile in the corner, and think, I should really deal with that. But your back aches, your energy is low, and in your heart, you already know you don't have an hour or even 20 minutes in you today. That's when a simple timer can become your greatest tool. Here's how it works. Set a timer for just 5 minutes. That's it. Not 15, not 30, just 5. And for those 5 minutes, do what you can. Sort through a small tray of items, clear one drawer, recycle some old mail, or just look through a few things in your reach. When the timer rings, you stop. No guilt, no pressure to keep going. You did your part, you showed up, and that's enough. It may sound too small to matter, but it matters more than you think. Because those 5 minutes aren't just about the clutter. They're about building momentum. They're about teaching your mind and your heart that progress doesn't require exhaustion. It requires consistency and compassion. You wouldn't expect a friend in your situation to push past their limits. So why do we expect it from ourselves? You see, when we think we need an hour or nothing at all, we set ourselves up to fail before we begin. That all or nothing thinking is sneaky. It tells you, well, if you can't finish the whole thing, why even start? But here's the truth. 5 minutes is a start. 5 minutes a day becomes 35 minutes a week. That's more than 2 hours a month. That's more progress than most people make trying to find the perfect time. And here's the part many people forget. Doing something small regularly keeps you connected to your space. It reminds you that you're still in charge. Not the piles, not the mess, not the overwhelm. You. Some folks keep a timer next to their chair and set it while their tea brews. Others do it after breakfast or before bed. The timing doesn't matter. What matters is that you gave what you could and then gave yourself permission to stop. This is not about hustling. It's not about cramming in one more task. It's about honoring your limits and still making space for lightness. You don't need to push yourself to your edge to feel accomplished. Sometimes, 5 quiet minutes with a small stack of papers is all it takes to feel like you've taken back a bit of control, and that feeling lasts longer than you think. So try it. Set a timer, breathe, begin, and when it rings, smile, close the drawer, and rest. You've done more than most people will today, because you did it with care, not chaos. Tip 4. You make the decisions, let others do the lifting. One of the hardest parts about aging is this quiet shift that happens over time. Your body doesn't respond like it used to, but your mind still knows exactly what you want. You know what needs to be done. You can see what's out of place. You know what should stay and what should go. But the getting up, the lifting, the bending, it just costs more than it used to. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it drains you for the whole day. That's where this tip comes in. You make the decisions. Let someone else do the lifting. Now, this isn't always easy, especially if you've been independent your whole life. Asking someone to help move boxes or carry things to the trash can feel like admitting defeat. But let's flip that idea around. What if accepting help isn't giving up control, but actually keeping it? Here's what this looks like in real life. Maybe your daughter comes by on Sundays, or a neighbor checks in once a week. Instead of pretending everything's fine or brushing off their offer to help, use that visit to your advantage. Have them bring you one bin or one stack of items you've been meaning to sort. While they do the lifting, you do the thinking. You sit, you decide, and you direct the process from your chair. You don't need to explain every choice. You don't need to move anything yourself. You just point, keep, donate, throw away. Your voice is the most important tool in the room. This is very different from tip number 1, which was about how to work when you're completely alone. This tip is about those moments when you do have someone nearby and learning how to accept their help without surrendering your sense of authority or independence. You're not asking for pity, you're asking for partnership. There's a difference. And here's the powerful truth. Many family members and friends actually want to help. They just don't always know how. When you give them clear, simple tasks, can you lift this down for me, or can you carry this to the bin outside? They feel useful. They feel included. And you stay in the driver's seat. This protects your body from pain. It protects your energy from burnout. And most importantly, it protects your dignity. Because you're not being left out of the process. You're leading it. You're making the calls. You're shaping your space on your terms, with your wisdom guiding every step. Even if it's just a grandchild helping to move bags once a month, it matters. Even if it's a church member who volunteers to take donations for you, that's still progress, powered by you. So next time someone asks, "Is there anything you need help with?" don't say no just to protect your pride. Say yes to protect your peace. Let them do the lifting. You've already done the hardest part, choosing what matters and letting go of what doesn't. You're not giving up control, you're using it wisely. Tip 5. Focus on what you can reach and let the rest go. For now. Let's be honest, sometimes the hardest part of decluttering isn't what's in front of you. It's what's above you, behind you, or buried somewhere deep in a cabinet you haven't opened in years. You look up at that high shelf or down at that low drawer, and your body quietly says, "Not today." Or maybe, if you're being honest, not ever again. And that's okay. One of the most freeing lessons in this stage of life is this. You don't have to tackle what you can't reach. You don't owe your energy to the attic. You don't need to force yourself to clean out the back of the closet. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. Instead, let's focus on what's right in front of you, the things you can reach comfortably, the things you use every day, the places you see the most. Start with your nightstand, your side table, the kitchen counter you lean on each morning, the basket by your chair. These small, reachable zones are not less important. They're more important because they impact your daily peace. These are the spaces your eyes land on every day. And when those areas are clear, your mind feels clearer too. This isn't about lowering your standards. It's about raising your kindness toward yourself. Because climbing to the top of a closet or crouching to sort through the floor of a cupboard isn't just difficult anymore. It's dangerous. You've earned the right to keep your feet on the ground, literally and emotionally. Here's what this looks like in practice. You're sitting at the kitchen table. You see the 3 drawers closest to you. Great, start there. You're watching TV and there's a stack of papers on the table next to your recliner. Go through those. Don't climb, don't crawl, don't reach so far that it pulls something in your back or throws off your balance. You don't have to declutter everything to feel lighter. You just need to clear what's around you, what you can touch without strain, what you can finish without frustration. Because that's the kind of progress that sticks. And here's something else to remember. You're allowed to say, I may never get to that top shelf. You're allowed to ask someone else to handle the heavy lifting later, or even decide that some areas just aren't worth your time anymore. That's not failure. That's wisdom. That's experience saying, I know where my energy belongs and where it doesn't. So as you look around your space, take a breath. Ask yourself, what is within reach right now that I can start with? Is it 1 drawer? 1 dish rack? 1 shelf at eye level? Let everything else be quiet for now. Because progress doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from choosing wisely. And peace doesn't live at the top of the bookshelf. It lives in that clean table by your chair, in the drawer that opens without stress, in the corner you cleared so you could exhale again. You don't have to finish. You just have to begin, right where you are. And where you are is enough. If this video spoke to your situation, if even one tip felt like something you could actually try, I'd love for you to share in the comments. What's one small area in your home you're ready to take back? A drawer, a corner, a spot on the table, anything. And if you felt understood here, I hope you'll subscribe. This space is for people who are still trying, still caring, still making room for peace, even when it's hard. And before you go, let me say this. You are doing better than you think. You're not stuck. You're adapting. And that, my friend, is something to be proud of.